bilateral relations during a meeting with Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong in Beijing. Future Focus. The World Economic Forum's 16th annual meeting of the new champions kicks off in Tianjin, North China, with live updates from the ground. Flying risks. Flight data shows airlines increasingly avoiding the Middle East airspace as tensions escalate amid the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict. It's good evening from Beijing and welcome to this edition of Global Business on CGTN. I'm Lily Lu. Chinese President Xi Jinping has met with Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, who is currently on an official visit to China. The meeting took place this morning at Beijing's Great Hall of the People.
Chinese President Xi Jinping congratulated Prime Minister Wong on his recent re-election, reaffirming the strong ties between the two nations. Noting this year marks the 35th anniversary of China-Singapore diplomatic relations, President Xi praised the two sides for their long-standing mutual understanding and respect, key pillars of their stable and thriving partnership. President Xi highlighted landmark collaborations like the Suzhou Industrial Park, which have not only advanced both nations' modernization, but also set a benchmark for regional cooperation. He called on both sides to draw experience from the development of bilateral relations, carry forward fine traditions, and enable the tree of China-Singapore friendship to grow even stronger. He also said that China and Singapore should maintain a strategic long-term vision for bilateral relations. President Xi called for boosting collaboration under the Belt and Road Initiative, focusing on the digital economy, green development, and artificial intelligence. He said efforts should be made to encourage frequent people-to-people exchanges between the two nations, adding that China is ready to work with Singapore to promote a more equal and orderly multipolar world in inclusive and beneficial economic globalization. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong expressed Singapore's willingness to expand trade and investment ties with China, deepen cooperation in emerging fields like artificial intelligence and new energy, and further strengthen people-to-people exchanges. Wong said Singapore will continue to adhere to the One China principle and will work closely with China on regional and multilateral platforms to safeguard multilateralism and the international order. Singapore is China's fifth largest trading partner in ASEAN, and China has been Singapore's top trading partner since 2013.
Singapore is the fifth largest trading partner of China among the 10 ASEAN countries, while China has been Singapore's top trading partner for 12 consecutive years. Latest figures show that bilateral trade between the two rose nearly 3% year-on-year to $111 billion last year. Investment is another key pillar of their relationship. In 2022, Singapore surpassed Japan to become China's largest cumulative investor. In 2024, Singapore's investment in China reached nearly $11 billion, marking a 9% increase. In the same year, China invested about $12 billion in Singapore. The World Economic Forum's 16th annual meeting of the new champions, also known as the Summer Davos, is kicking off in northern China's Tianjin, bringing together leaders across government, business, civil society, with a focus on broader geopolitical and economic issues. Our reporter Liu Jiaxing has the latest.
The 2025 meeting is being held in Tianjin at the 1.4 million square meter National Convention and Exhibition Center. The Summer Davos places particular emphasis on the future of business tech advancement and creating opportunities in developing markets, with a strong focus on Asia's rapidly evolving economic landscape. The 2025 topics include deciphering the world economy, outlook on China, investing in people and planet, industries disrupted, and new energy and materials. Premier of the State Council Li Qiang will attend the opening plenary on Wednesday and deliver an address. He will also meet with foreign guests and have a conversation with representatives of foreign business community, according to Chinese Foreign Ministry. Its spokesperson Guo Jiakun said on Monday that the Summer Davos serves as an important platform for promoting exchanges between China and the world and enhancing practical cooperation. While at least 44 senior political leaders from about 30 countries and regions are expected to attend, including 40 cabinet ministers. 14 global leaders from both the government and private sectors will serve as co-chairs of the meeting. Experts say amid growing unilateralism and protectionism from certain Western countries, the summer Davos in Tianjin will send a fresh signal of China's confidence in maintaining stable growth and its firm resolve to expanding opening up. 刘嘉欣 CGTN 天津。
Well, industrial transformation and AI-powered factory upgrades are key topics at this year's Summer Davos. Now, for more on technological innovation in Asia, let's cross over to our correspondent Mira Liu in Singapore. Hi there, Mira. See, we're seeing rapid developments in artificial intelligence across Asia. Could you walk us through where the region stands now and what is driving this momentum?
Hello, Lily. That's right. To say AI is the buzzword is an understatement. The pace of AI development in Asia right now is remarkable, and China is unquestionably leading that charge. A major turning point came earlier this year with the launch of DeepSeek. The large language model took the world by storm. It didn't just impress with performance by some international benchmarks. Its R1 model is on par with OpenAI's ChatGPT-4. But what really turned heads was the fact that it was estimated 27 times cheaper to develop. That really got industry players questioning whether the Western big AI model was necessary or even sustainable. Since then, China has been witnessing an AI boom from both the public and private sectors. From the government level, China has launched a large AI fund, such as the recently announced $8.2 billion AI fund to bolster its AI industry and semiconductor self-sufficiency. Local governments are also piling on, with Beijing alone announced that an investment of $11 billion in an AI industry ecosystem plan. And that's why, Lily, you're seeing so many AI companies popping up in Beijing, right? Now, from the enterprise side, AI is definitely at the forefront of Chinese big tech companies' mind. Alibaba, for example, has committed about $52 billion over the next 3 years to boost its AI and cloud capabilities. And its AI assistant app built on Q1 large language model already commands 149 million monthly users. And we're also seeing investment play out in daily life. In China, AI is really everywhere, managing traffic in big cities, speeding up the diagnosis in hospitals, automating factories, and even supporting classrooms. What's striking is not just the range, but the pace and scale at which it's happening. Now, in Singapore, where I am, I heard earlier you were talking about Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong visiting China, and he has met Chinese President Xi Jinping, and they talked about more collaboration on AI and digital economy. This government has taken a very diversified approach towards developing AI. Its AI Strategy 2.0, launched in late 2023, outlined plans to grow AI in areas like healthcare, finance, and education. We're already seeing real-world results as well here. Hospitals are using AI to spot early signs of illness. Banks are catching scams faster, and schools are testing AI tools to personalize learning and build local talent, a typical foundation safely. Also moving fast. Models and pushing care to our
building with
China. Growing collaboration between China and Southeast Asia is the clearest examples. Completed a massive and fintech data centers in 1,000 Indonesians in cloud and AI over the next 3 years to develop digital skills in the region, with the aim of training 100,000 developers and growing 100,000 tech startups. Similar efforts are underway across the region, where China is working with countries like Malaysia, Vietnam, and Thailand to build AI models that understand local languages and culture. Because there's a lot of talk about, U.S. and China are leading the AI development, but the other countries don't want to be lagging behind. And to train an AI model, you need to have more diversified database and more languages to input. We're also seeing significant investment from Chinese tech giants. Earlier this year, TikTok's parent company ByteDance bought a 75% of stake in Tokopedia, one of Indonesia's biggest e-commerce players. Another Chinese tech giant, Tencent, has also long backed Singapore's Shopee, while Alibaba is behind another e-commerce giant, Lazada. So as you can see, there's a lot of Chinese investment, Chinese tech coming to this part of the world, Lily.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for your insights. That's our correspondent Mira Liu in Singapore for us. As artificial intelligence advances rapidly, it is revolutionizing industries like never before. At the 16th Summer Davos Forum in Tianjin, AI-powered healthcare has become a key focus for global leaders. Our reporter Xu spoke with a leading Chinese tech entrepreneur who introduced China's innovative healthcare models at the AI Sub-Forum.
The greatest takeaway is that we're entering a very, very exciting era of AI. And I think that humankind is definitely going through the next stage of civilization. And I think the next era, there are two things that is going to really change civilization. One, I believe, is AI, and the other one is energy transformation, which may be powered by nuclear fusion. We created the medical big data platform for the hospitals. And we launched, after DeepSeek, we launched something called Doctor AI Workstation. And we see doctors are very enthusiastic creating their own agent on things like preclinical information collection, data collection, and also clinical decision support system, patient timeline, patient pathway, and operation projection of what's going to happen if you choose this route of clinical services, if you choose another route of what is going to happen, and also ICU predictions, disease prediction. So there are many agents that are being created by the doctors, and so they can spend more time with the patient.
Digital health has always been the global concern under the spirit of Davos meeting. So how do you see the Chinese achievements on this sector in recent years?
For public health, China can be a big contributor to global health for a few reasons. One is that we have the second largest world population, which we have a lot of people who with a lot of diseases. China has been investing in digitalization of healthcare for the past 2 decades. So we have a lot of digital data available sitting in different systems. I think China's in the public health sector to the global is a challenge. There is as GDP and answers experiencing all.
So what does it take to build a robot? Our reporter Xu robotics firms connect eyes to their ultra-sensitive skin.
The future is already the city. could kill. Even working in robotics. Look at this. My first thing, I spent one. It can perform and make. And then is now operating dozens of ID bots, factory floors, development
15 months. Operations from the first to the
on R&D foundation. 140 Shenzhen took a decade of development. Industry and its performance. Some feel 1,000 robotic from the main cluster. And this and
the robots force. Drift stays below.
Precision-less robots. Frozen it.
Then, renowned core tech.
In 2024, explosive growth springs from Shenzhen's complete ecosystem, where mature supply chains accelerate innovation advantage.
To over 20-minute drive away.
Third of the world's lightest and the manufacturer.
在这个区域 Buyers next door store by innovators accelerates our
advantage becomes clear. We are over 30 here. Tier 1 supply chains converge within a few matched in density and
find efficient solutions across.
Here you can finalize Zen speed.
what it is. Launching China.
And still to come. Flight data shows escalate amid the ongoing
2025 to shape the future to seismic planet to join Summer Davos.
Time now to get a check. The PBOC and Tuesday to boost consumption. Lending facility dedicated to service. Info Institute's Business Climate Index rose from marking the 6th consecutive monthly improvement. Increased economic confidence following the new time oil prices fell to a 2-week proposal to WTI, easing concerns over has remained largely empty among reroute flights. Mostly affected are increasingly important for them. For instance, Tuesday and suspended flights to Tel Aviv until July 14th. From Tel Aviv and Tehran, from Singapore to Dubai, also made comparable their gold forecast. Deutsche Bank's comprehensive prices typically rise. See this average higher risk premiums continue to experience up. Saxo Bank, the U.S. military involvement driving the tension. Here at developments with the Israel-Iran balance of international relations.
Although it went volatile, very bad for investment. What's happened in Lebanon, stability, which will allow economic geopolitical tension. So I think we are going to over the coming years. how to adapt to a
want to between really we will not go to the radical that are happening. Conflicts and wars are not new, but the overall pattern that are moving towards more equality, actually more equal, retire and cope with crisis together.
And very peace with it. I think it's disrupt wars, and even on climate this year. So I think a lot of these shocks becoming in being the key name of the game.
On CGTN. The show is also available on your favorite podcast app. I'm Lily Lu in Beijing. Thanks for watching.
CGTN, I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. As we the number of refugees doubled. Country over a decade into a book by Melissa. Thank you so much. What an honor it is to have you here. Well, if you know your interaction with the
be here in page one. The Chinese moved by or even have our book being very moved. But this and having an official launch, an incredible.
And out of the many stories that I've been dealing with over of global communications, you must have come across a Davos story and then making it to you.
Well, coming to Europe, and of all of those refugees in European countries to turn against refugees started to become politicized. And so I started to that people reaction is antidote to that quest for almost every refugee faces tragedy. Important to move people is to show a universal story, not just about to flee their home. People who help you so much for
most striking about that, and then eventually surviving unimaginable adversities. Striking about.
The survivor in Doha, the one who survived, but saving of two babies. Knew she had to do it. Baby Masa. That's the strength of adversity.
In to do by the small, but you lost your fiancé who and then I
experiences of my life with death around and scared. I arms. Both are afraid of the water.
Thoughts survive all that.
Every single is closing in. I was going to and join the other. How is this feel?
Back to you, General. 2015 placement has, as we mark the Refugee Day.
Those numbers, it's 100 forced to new wars. A lot of it is also because living to return home. Part of the story and part of those, there has been a change. 2 million to Syria. So we're talking about in that as citizens towards peace, because that or the security.
Doa, the world who are watching, and perhaps more people perhaps go back.
I really maybe even settle there. Much to recover. A lot of support before peace. For all of us living in area one day and rebuild from will help make it possible everywhere.
Can be deceiving. It has. There are all the details to see more. See the difference.
The fact that sometimes it's important displaced from their home that are often of the EU should pay attention to.
Is on the numbers for people. United Nations. Storytelling, empathy, and to do something. So I think that's our that all of the gloom and doom, solutions journalism, UN communication about the state. So many people are to provide a reason of yes, everything, and organizations, but a problem can be solved.
Said that the internet, it is a little difficult to look beyond the headline. People should pay know more about refugees.
People who fled their countries to survive, seeking a life. I hope the world
Can we really corporate control the nuances?
There is each that is. There's so many people who media influencers, but at least recently, UN. We need to work hard from landscape. Information, public interest media. This is journalism that is working for the greater good. Of course, it is holding and vital to citizens and the knowledge of our world.
Is a war. You watch out for.
General has he is called solution that National Atomic Energy Agency We're negotiating. Our hope. We don't need any more wars.
And the displaced. Are you in Gaza already?
And this is something that we are risking their we're food so they don't starve. It's a very many of them don't want to leave. Situation where bombs.
When you look at the target and then children in Israel, you must. How do you feel?
Are enduring of the all to live in peace. Famine or weapons will come to the end when wars will. I hope that the women, no one truly in power, genocide.
And Melissa, are you happy with the impact that they have?
Yes, it really. There is a edition of the book. More publicity. And through.
Just so you know, Wang Yang 坠西 hope more power. About hope. Very powerful. And all the politics.
For the book, if you're at the felt and refugee never be. That is the hope that we. It is hope for the education lives. Full for, because this hope.
This program can perhaps to hold out hope, but in time, like Bill has.
I think because country where there is no for. Attend university. If you have something to be grateful for, expressing this gratitude, and maybe there.
Though I'm a listener, what is your understanding of being grateful after all?
Of course, we should always be grateful us along the way.
Or these days, you know, depressed and not.
And never give up. Life, and yes, it can be really tough in front of all of
Hundreds of millions of people out of development initiative. Standard of living through, you know, economic
Sustainable Development Goals, which is on a health and less to develop poverty is an global contribution. As a UN that we need prosperity of individuals.
Anything concrete things or
in particular infrastructure in development. I know that there are many here in China and around it that is essential for the financing for development, where we are hoping that we're able to collectively. So that was. We don't have colonies anymore. That are anxious in their development, facing a countries that are happening here a model for many parts.
Happens to be a Tesla.
City reset.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yes, and our residents to
the United Nations right. That is, how should people?
Well, we just celebrated its nice that this today, as it was when recognition that every it is
Doha and Undersecretary General of the Hub on CGTN. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Day. Do not drop both Iran and Tehran again, but President Trump. Israel shortly to the NATO, but the Middle East. Fresh explosions have been reported. Those bombs of breaking the
really unhappy if it was shot. that have been fighting. Do you understand that?
Well, Trump was speaking, accusing Iran of violating the ceasefire after the truce took effect. The United States attacks on its both countries and hopes to see. He supports the country in the Middle East. Developments.
Of all Israel's nuclear sites. Last week. Firing missiles towards. Then came accusations.
This morning, about 20 missiles. Unfortunately, there are dead and injured.
Read a statement by Iran's that any missile talked about. And sounded in Tehran are fearful.
Right, whether it's our people or theirs, rather than later.
As they say, better for Israel.
Devastation that's been endured. There are calls now for meaningful negotiations to create problems.
Bring peace, dialogue and negotiation. International community.
Monday evening was unacceptable. Nuclear-free
to return immediately. A diplomatic
and influence suffering.
Iran and talk to our correspondent.
That both countries know what happened is that local time 6 minutes past. 2 more missiles were fired roughly at 10:30. And those were fired towards north. The chief of staff from the U.S. President Donald Trump, Israel, but mostly towards a unclear. Some missiles after And yet I urge Minister, it was decided towards a radar in this whole game. Israel can that only due to the pressure deteriorated this Netanyahu was quite tense, quite angry over
Jonathan, picture from our correspondents this
Israeli claims toward Israel, and it's Israel of Gilan in that city. We see more can hold.
Sarimi in the United States and under Jagruti Dave him too.
It was a clear quarters ahead, and he at what he saw as angry at it, apparent on so directly in capital letters violation. He later is in effect House described as of President Trump's relationship and influence. House believes that this and appears to have been violated with to do with the fact intervening so direct. And so really the outcome of is a real indicator of whether
Let's take you Magnier, the security. What our correspondent in will say they was warned. Predictable.
For having me. Have reached the ground in the future.